My name is Tanya Brandon. I'm the lead plastics nurse specialist in St John's Hospital in Livingston. I've been nursing in total for 21 years and I've actually been in wound care for 13 years. The first patient we're going to talk about is Valerie Grant, a 64-year-old lady who came to myself about 6 months ago with an ulcer that she'd had for a period of 4 years.
My husband and I went to Rome on a 40th wedding anniversary holiday and I obviously was bit with a mosquito. And for 2 or 3 months after that, it was just like a small hole. But it began to leak a lot and eventually it turned into an ulcer. Psychologically, it's affected me in a big way. And the thing about it too, it was destroying what life I had, because eventually you do realise you can't keep up. You can't keep running about and going out and shopping and taking people for lunches and taking the old folk out in the church. Can't do it anymore because I just didn't have the energy. So it affected me. It affected my whole life.
Through the course of the 4-year treatment, she went through every dressing that was imaginable that was on the wound, formulae and a combination of antimicrobials, silvers, and through all these different dressings that she had, she went through a huge amount of pain.
The wound just came back to being what it was, a weeping, ugly mess and smelly and totally just not bearable.
So we started the UrgoClean, and on the initial treatment of the UrgoClean, the first day back, we could actually see how the levels of exudate was managed. The dressing in itself absorbed the exudate, but it did not go out with the circumference of the wound. From this point of view, this then allowed the surrounding skin to actually dry out. It was less emaciated and it was less itchy from the patient's point of view as well.
The UrgoClean did make a massive difference to my life. In the beginning I couldn't believe it. The wound looked smaller, it was coming in. There was granulation, which I'd never seen ever since it happened. I was having sleep, which is the most important thing.
She will have a wound for a period of time, but the fact that we're managing it with this new UrgoClean to a level that we're maintaining the pain, we're maintaining the exudate and we're maintaining the odour, which is a big aspect of the actual dressing in itself.
We've got a static caravan now and we go down every weekend and we have dinner out and we go across to a little club and join other people. I wouldn't have done that before.
Next patient is Anne Russell. She's a 72-year-old lady who has had a leg ulcer for 5 years. This unfortunately happened due to the fact that she took an allergic reaction to medication that was prescribed due to arthritic changes in her back.
Nothing helped. I even had the skin graft on it and I had the maggots. I had everything and nothing would help. And then plenty exudate coming from it as well. I know that it was really bad. You couldn't sleep at night, the pain was horrible. I never felt pain like it in my life. It did keep you back because, I mean, you were in pain the whole time and sometimes you couldn't put your foot down at all. It was really quite bad, it kept you back from everything.
From my point of view, I wanted to try and manage the exudate. I wanted to try and manage her pain and obviously manage the odour. And again, due to the amount of pain she'd been going through for the period of time, she was more than delighted to trial the new UrgoClean. Even on the first dressing change, there was a marked improvement. The slough from the front of the leg had actually lifted off quite substantially, and the slough on the underside of the leg had actually softened and loosened off as well. Through the course of the last 3 months, we've actually got edges of the wound is actually coming in. The wound bed is granulating up fabulous and we have islands of healing that started to form in the actual wound bed, but they're now connecting to each other. So for the 4 or 5 years that she's had this wound, this has never been seen at all.
I got put onto it in September and after I got put onto the first dress and saw the difference in it then, it started drying up slowly and coming off quite good, and then the smell just disappeared. So it's been improving since that, since I started getting that.
From the point of view of pain management, she's taking much less painkillers. She feels she can potter about and do things in the house so much better. And from my point of view, I'm so excited because a leg ulcer, a full circumference, starting to have improvement with this new dressing means that we have a definite way forward with this dressing for patients in the same circumstances as Anne. The next patient is Thomas Linton, who likes to be called Tam. He actually sustained an acute wound in June this year.
I managed to trap my leg between an invalid buggy and the tow bar of a trailer. Unfortunately, I ended up with two kind of big holes in my leg. I have to be on immunosuppressants and really a big cocktail of other drugs. Every one of them seems to have the effect that stops any wounds I get healing.
The exudate was a big impact on it because the dressing you put on him, no matter what dressing it was actually leaking out the dressing and the dressings were falling off. So from his point of view, he wanted something to absorb, obviously the moisture coming from the wound, but also to try and get it progressed on quicker because he was getting quite frustrated with the fact that the dressings weren't really doing anything to actually heal the wound and progress the wound. We used the Urgo rope for the 2 sinus tracts, and we used UrgoClean onto the main flat wound onto the actual shin.
When it came to taking the dressing off again at the end of the week or whenever, it was quite easy. It just slipped up itself. It wasn't difficult. It came out in one strip, straight out the holes, and gradually the holes healed from the bottom up to the top of my leg to probably what its present position is now.
The wound had progressed sufficiently that the wound bed no longer had slough. The exudate had lessened considerably, so we thought it was an ideal time to actually change the treatment to UrgoStart for the wound to progress further. Tam himself feels so much better since he's had this new dressing on. He is managing to go swimming with his grandchildren now, and he goes away for the weekend with his wife, and he now again has the freedom that he can do these things, that the wound isn't exuding copious amounts of fluid, not malodorous, and obviously much more comfortable for him.
If the sister would let me away with it, I wouldn't bother putting a dressing on because I feel that really the Urgo has done its job.
If it hadn't been for Tanya getting me this, I don't know what had happened.
I was beginning to get confidence again. That's what was lost.
If my patient's happy, then I'm happy, but to actually see the wounds progress with a dressing that's new in the market, you get really enthused and excited about it because you think how many other patients this can be used on, and it's a new dressing that I have never known in the 13 years that I've been doing wound care, and I just think that it would be great to take it forward.